Hey everyone, and welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're going to tackle a super common task in web automation, drag and drop. It seems like it should be easy, but trust me, there's a secret bug hiding in there that gets almost everyone, even the pros. So, let's break down how you'd think it works, and then we'll see where it all falls apart. All right, so picture this. This is your job for the day. You've got this little box on a web page, and you have to write a script to automatically drag it over here and drop it right there. Pretty standard stuff, right? A basic user interaction. So how do you do it? What's your first move? Well, for any kind of complex, human-like move on a web page, things like hovering over a menu, right-clicking, and, dragging stuff around, our go-to tool in Selenium is always the Actions class. It's basically built to handle all these advanced user gestures, stringing them together just like a real person would. Okay, so for this explainer, we're going to use a classic example you can find on the jQuery UI website. It's super simple. You've got one thing you can drag and one spot you can drop it. It's the perfect test case for what we're trying to do. So, logically, you'd think this is going to be super straightforward. I mean, it's really just 3 steps, right? Step 1, you find the element you want to drag. Step 2, you find the target where you're going to drop it. And step 3, you just call the drag and drop method from the Actions class and boom, magic happens. Sounds easy enough. So we pop open the developer tools, take a look at the page, and awesome. The elements have these perfect, unique IDs. The source one is literally called draggable, and the target is droppable. I mean, come on, it doesn't get any easier than that. So you go ahead, you write the code, and you're feeling pretty good about yourself. This is going to be a quick one. All right, moment of truth. We run the script, we lean back in our chair, just waiting to see that little box slide smoothly across the screen. I mean, we did everything by the book, so what could possibly go wrong? And nothing. Absolutely nothing happens. The browser pops up, it goes to the page, and then the script just dies. It crashes. The element doesn't move a single pixel. Oh, this is that moment, right? That classic, frustrating feeling every single developer knows all too well. So, okay, time to check the error logs. And here's what Selenium spits out. It says it couldn't find the web element. But wait a minute. We just saw it on the page. We know the ID is draggable. We checked it. How can it possibly not be there? And that right there is the big mystery. The element is clearly visible to our eyes. The locator is 100% correct. The method we're using is the right one. So what's going on? What is this invisible wall that's stopping Selenium from seeing the exact same thing we're looking at? And the answer, the hidden culprit that gets developers all the time, is something called an iframe. See, the problem wasn't with our locators at all. Nope, it was the context, the room, so to speak, where those elements were living. So what in the world is an iframe? The best way to think about it is like a picture frame hanging on a wall. The wall itself is your main web page, but the picture inside that frame, that's a totally separate, independent web page with its own HTML, its own everything. It's literally a web page embedded inside another web page. And that right there is exactly where our script failed. See, when Selenium first loads a page, its focus is on the main document. It's looking at the wall. By default, it can't see anything that's inside one of those picture frames or iframes. And our draggable element, our droppable target, yep, they were both sitting inside that frame, totally invisible to our script. Okay, so now that we know the villain of our story, we can come up with a real solution, a new plan of attack. It's not enough to just look for the element. We have to first step inside the frame where that element lives. This is the crucial part. Our nice, simple 3-step process is now a 4-step process. We've added a super important new first step. Before we even think about looking for draggable or droppable, we first have to find the iframe itself. Then we have to tell Selenium, hey, switch your focus inside this frame. It's only after we do that that it can finally see the elements we were looking for all along. And you know what's crazy? When you put the code side by side, the old failing code and the new successful code, look how tiny the change is. All the logic for finding the elements and doing the drag and drop, it's exactly the same. The only difference, the whole game changer, is that one single powerful line of code. driver.switch2.frame. That's it. That one line is the key that unlocks the whole thing. So with that one line added to our script, we run it again, and this time, success. It works perfectly. Selenium switches into the frame, it finds the draggable element, it finds the droppable target, and it just performs the action flawlessly. Beautiful. So what's the big takeaway here? I mean, what's the real lesson? It's not just about memorizing one little command. The real point is about developing a much more important, much bigger skill. See, the real skill of a great automation engineer isn't just knowing the library of commands. It's about being a detective. It's knowing that when something breaks for no obvious reason, you have to know how to debug. You have to know how to look at the page structure and hunt for these environmental factors, like a sneaky iframe that can totally change the game. And that really leaves us with a final question to chew on. Iframes are just one of these invisible hurdles, right? But what else is out there waiting to trip you up? Things like shadow DOMs, or elements that take a split second too long to load, or race conditions. There's a whole world of them. So the next time your script fails, even though the locator looks perfect, I want you to remember this explainer and start looking for the frame. Thanks for tuning in.